What is going on, everyone? It's Sean O'Connell, the managing director here at CinemaBlend, and I am nearing the end of my sprint through every single episode of Game of Thrones before Season 8 kicks off. We have made it all the way up to Season 6, Episode 4, which I'm told is called Book of the Stranger, and we have a few major things that are still moving along over the course of this season, primarily Jon Snow resurrected from the dead and declaring that his watch is ended and he is moving on to whatever next adventure Jon Snow is going to go off and partake in. So we have a lot to catch up with, a lot of character to catch up with, and how many more episodes? 4, 6 this season, 7 next season, and we have Season 8 right around the corner. So let's get right to it. Go down, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, keep up with me, and to me, as I work my way through every single episode of Game of Thrones, starting with today anyway, episode 4 of Season 6, Book of the Stranger.
I was with you at Hardhome. We know it's coming here. How can you leave us now?
I did everything I could, you know.
You swore a vow.
I pledged my life to the Night's Watch. I gave my life.
For all nights to come.
They killed me, Ed, my own brothers. You want me to stay here after that?
What? Yes! They made it! They made it! Good! Thank God! Finally, a Stark family reunion! Oh, what happiness on this show? What? Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. What a moment. Oh my gosh.
I wish I could change everything.
We were children.
I was awful, just admit it.
You were occasionally awful.
Where will you go?
Where will we go?
Yeah, right. Stick together.
If I don't watch over you, Father's ghost will come back and murder me.
There's only one place we can go.
Winterfell.
Home.
Or should we tell the Boltons to pack up and leave?
We'll take it back from them.
I don't have an army.
How many wildlings did you save?
They didn't come here to serve me.
They owe you their lives. It's ours.
She's right.
And Arya's and Bran's and Rickon's, wherever they are, it belongs to our family. We have to fight for it.
I'm tired of fighting. I've killed brothers of the Night's Watch. I've killed wildlings. I've killed men that I admire. I hanged a boy. Younger than Bran.
I want you to help me, but I'll do it myself if I have to.
Yeah, I'm Team Sansa on this one.
Will you stay here at Castle Black?
I will do as Jon Snow commands.
You serve Jon Snow now.
He's the prince that was promised.
Forgive me, my lady, I'd have thought that was Stannis. What happened to the princess?
I saw what happened. I saw Stannis' forces defeated in the field.
My lady, I'm Sir Davos Seaworth.
We've met before. I was Kingsguard to Renly Baratheon. Before Renly was assassinated with blood magic.
By this one.
That's in the past now.
Yes, it's in the past. Doesn't mean I forget. He admitted it, you know.
Who did?
Stannis, just before I executed him.
Yes!
You told me you were taking Sansa Stark home with you to the Fingers.
On our way to the Fingers, we were set upon by a large force of Bolton men. How many people knew of my travel plans with Sansa Stark? I shared my intentions with you, and no one else. Your home is the Vale. The Lord of the Vale stands before us, and only his judgment concerns me.
Should we throw him through the moon door?
If we could trust his absolute loyalty, he would make a capable commander in the wars to come.
You can trust my absolute loyalty, my lord.
I think he deserves one more chance. What do you say?
Fine.
My friends in the north tell me Sansa has escaped Winterfell. I expect she's headed to Castle Black, where her brother serves as Lord Commander. But she won't be safe there. Not with the Boltons after her.
We should help her.
That was my instinct as well. Gather the Knights of the Vale. Time has come to join the fray.
Hey, here we go.
As a clever man once told me, we make peace with our enemies, not our friends. My own recent experience with slavery has taught me the horrors of that institution.
How many days were you a slave?
Long enough to know.
Not long enough to understand. We want you to leave Slavers Bay. Take your dragons and your mercenaries and go.
Instead of abolishing slavery overnight, we will give you 7 years to end the practice. In exchange, you will cut off your support for the Sons of the Harpy.
We do not support the Sons of the Harpy.
Fine, but you will cut it off all the same. I do hope you accept, my friends. You will not receive a better offer.
Missande, Hemskul Shifeshwar, Skurche, Kurthpong Paza.
Do Pompazan. Dori Pompazos Livan. Iu he Silvie Vala Mera Ife Tredas. Verdi Gelisk Ilvi Crenuntosi. Do Ilvira Gerosi.
You don't know them. You don't understand them. We are not human in their eyes. They look at me and see a weapon. They look at her and see a whore.
They look at me and they see a misshapen little beast. Their contempt is their weakness. They'll underestimate us every time, and we will use that to our advantage.
You will not use them. They will use you. That is what they do.
Does she even get a script? Do they hand her pages that just say confess over and over again on the script?
My father was a cobbler. He died when I was young, and I took over his shop. The highborn liked to cover their feet with my time, and they paid well for the privilege.
And one day you walked through a graveyard and realized it was all for nothing, and set out on the path to righteousness. Book of the Stranger, verse 25.
You know the 7-pointed star? Let's go and see him.
Who?
Your brother.
To stay strong.
I can't stay strong.
You are the future of our house, the future of our family.
I don't care about that. Shh. I just want it to stop.
And if either of us give in to what they want, then they win.
Let them win.
In a few days, he'll have a trial for me. But before that, Queen Marjorie will make her walk of atonement.
That will not happen.
I agree.
You've got the second largest army in Westeros. You'll bring them into the city, stop Queen Marjorie's humiliation before it starts, and take her back into Crown custody. When the Tyrell armies come, you will stand down.
And let the people that took him from you be destroyed.
The Sparrows have many friends in this city. We'll have civil war. Many will die.
Many will die no matter what we do. Better them than us.
Theon is home, huh? Back to Pike.
They told me you were home
are.
and I didn't believe it. Theon Greyjoy, I said. He's dead. He's been dead a long time. Men died trying to rescue you.
I'm sorry.
You were a spoiled little cunt, but you were my brother and I risked everything for you. And you betrayed me.
I know, and I'm sorry.
Stop saying that.
You broke me into 1,000 pieces.
I know.
You don't know.
He sent us one of those pieces.
That's right.
Why did you come here?
Where else could I go?
You heard father was dead and you thought you'd claim the crown.
No, I only heard he died after we docked.
You happened to show up on Pike right before the King's Moot.
I didn't know.
You think any Ironborn wants you to be king?
I don't want to be king.
Tell me what you want.
You should rule the Iron Islands. Let me help you.
You've seen my banners.
The flayed man.
Does that worry you at all?
You eat them after?
No.
And I've seen worse.
All about the Stark boys and who helped them escape. And how she did it.
Yeah, you're never gonna beat Ramsay at this game.
To the traitor and bastard Jon Snow, you allowed thousands of wildlings past the wall. You have betrayed your own kind, you have betrayed the North. Winterfell is mine, bastard. Come and see. Your brother Rickon is in my dungeon. His direwolf skin is on my floor, come and see. I want my bride back. Send her to me, bastard, and I will not trouble you or your wildling lovers. Keep her from me, and I will ride north and slaughter every wildling man, woman, and babe living under your protection. You will watch as I skin them living.
Go on.
Just more of the same.
You will watch as my soldiers take turns raping your sister. You will watch as my dogs devour your wild little brother. Then I will spoon your eyes from their sockets and let my dogs do the rest. Come and see. Ramsay Bolton, Lord of Winterfell, Warden of the North.
Ajin, ik half in Thirnahan, ook is zijn dat rakoi.
Alajikesima ma vijazri atinarmai. Vos mana vos khal. Anavoka ki yeri.
Is she gonna bring the Dothraki to Westeros?
Vos ma an havidrek. Machin an havinok.
Asher Gilikath Asilakira!
You better have a dragon behind you, Khaleesi.
Yeri vosechi. Yeri vadrivoi.
Damn, did you guys make the whole thing out of flammable materials? Just amplified. And she's burning the whole thing down. Oh, that's one way to get them to follow you. Nice. Good, now march on Westeros, for God's sakes! Stop putting it off! Good, you have a Dothraki army. March on Westeros. Wow. It's a good parlor trick you got, Daenerys. The Book of the Stranger ends with Dany pulling off her favorite party trick, right? Like whenever you have a magic trick that you know stops the crowd in their tracks, you save it till the end. And so she burns the Dothraki palace. She kills all the Dothraki leaders, and in turn, I would assume, picks up a loyal Dothraki army, which means, for God's sakes, Dany, after 6 seasons, get your ass to Westeros. Forget Slaver's Bay. Let Tyrion deal with that. But she's, you know what's going to happen. She's going to like go back to Meereen, and she's going to get caught up in the negotiations with all of the masters who are still enslaving their people. And like this has to be the springboard to Dany joining the war in Westeros. It's not even like a bid for the throne anymore. No one's really going after the Lannisters as that stands right now. The High Sparrow is trying to bring them down from inside. So that's interesting. There's always someone in Game of Thrones who is in the position of power and who has to defend that position and is always being attacked by somebody, right? Like currently, right now, the High Sparrow is in a position of power, and we saw that Jaime and Cersei are putting a plan into place that involves the Tyrell army and some help from people within King's Landing. So there's a person in a position of power and a small band, a group that's trying to take them down. There is Ramsay Bolton, who is in a position of power, so he believes, as the Warden of the North and the King of Winterfell, or the Lord of Winterfell. And Sansa and Jon are putting together their plan to take him out. And so that's fairly interesting. And Littlefinger, Baelish is back with my boy, Robin Arryn, and he manages to very easily convince Robin Arryn to back his plan to join forces. So if Jon is marching south and is heading toward Winterfell, I assume he's going to also hook up with the armies from the Eyrie, and it'll reinforce his wildling army. I'll go back to Jon and Sansa. You don't get a lot of heartwarming moments in this show because this show is vicious. But that was a truly heartwarming and beautiful reunion of Stark children who'd been separated for seasons, years at this point now. The Red Woman, interesting now that she follows Jon and views him as she says, the prince that was promised. It's no longer Stannis the Manus. Tyrion negotiating with the other masters to eventually abolish slavery. Look, it doesn't have to happen overnight. And of course, he's getting pushback from even the people in his own hastily put together small council. We catch up with Loras, who obviously is doing really, really bad. Imprisonment, and he and Marjorie are sort of still planning to stay strong and push back against the High Sparrow, but there are plans in place, as we saw, to potentially take them out. Part of this episode was about Daario and Jorah getting closer to Dany, but then by the time we get to the end of the episode, Daenerys has put her own plan into place, which is burn the Dothraki leadership to the ground, and I will emerge victorious from the fire. So my hope from this is that Daenerys, again, like I said, like this has to be her move, right? She has a massive, like when she was picked up by the Dothraki, when her dragon wouldn't get up because he was so damn lazy. They showed through digital editions the size of this Dothraki army. It's massive, right? And now she's just convinced them, follow me. Like, I truly am the leader that you guys need. She has to make her move now at this point. She has to move these forces west. You can't go back to Mirian, and you cannot start spinning your wheels again. Like, they finally have gotten Dany to a place where she is she's threatening to become the badass leader with the dragons and the Dothraki army and everything behind her, which is kind of funny, because right now King's Landing is totally distracted by everything going on with the High Sparrow. Tywin Lannister would still be maintaining a vision of everything else that's going on, right? He'd be prepared for anything that's coming his way. The current leadership, as Cersei said, basically, the High Sparrow did this to us because he wants us bickering amongst ourselves. So they're not paying attention to what's going on with Dany. And now she's got to a point where she's just added a significant army of savage warriors in the Dothraki. King's Landing is not paying attention to what's going on in the north with Lord Bolton, and how Jon Snow is back from the dead and is leading his army down to take over Winterfell. And of course, temporarily, no one's really paying attention to the threat that we learned about in the Hardhome episode, which is that the Night King still has massive forces. So there's big things at play, and they're all going to start coming together as season 6 rolls on and as we get into season 7, I would imagine. So let's do that together. We'll be back for season 6, episode 5 soon. Make sure you don't miss that reaction video when we post it by going down, hitting the subscribe button, and turning on your notifications. And once we post it, you guys can come back over to our page and follow along with me as we burn through every single episode of Game of Thrones before season 8 arrives.